with the exception of Dolphins Chiefs, which is a 50.5 over under, I think everything else is like, on the main slate is just trash. Like, where are you at? Like, Cowboys, Eagles. You're an Eagles guy. It's a great run defense. Dallas has a great defense. So, like, all of a sudden, how is that like a 46? And then yet, like, all these other cockapoo ones, I mean, everything is like how many games are under 40 this week? So this is fixing like a week where you want to be getting those kickers into your DFS lineups.
Well, yeah, from a betting standpoint, there's a lot of low totals. There's a lot of games that, as you mentioned, we got some really good matchups, as you can see here. Some of the games will break down, but a lot of like close matchups, 2.5 point spreads, 3 point spreads. So tough to make, those decisions for betting and for, it's going to be some low totals. We got a lot of quarterback injuries across the league. So that's a whole another part of it. We got some news today about, Taylor Heineke, now the starter for the Falcons. We got for the Raiders, we got Aiden O'Connell now starting. We got Tannehill's ruled out for tomorrow for the Titans. We got Will Levis now running again. A lot of quarterback injuries, which are definitely throwing a wrench into it. Let's get into these leans. You mentioned, let's start with the Dolphins Chiefs. This is the Germany game for early Sunday morning. But a really good matchup for the Germans to check out there. You got the Chiefs 2.5 point favorites. 50.5 is the over-under in this one. I'll say my instant early lean on this is to take the Chiefs and not even think about it, because I've seen the Dolphins play two good teams this year, and they've lost both those games against the Bills and Eagles. They've beaten up on the bad teams in their schedule, but they just haven't proven they can beat a good team. And I see the Chiefs coming off their, ugly bad loss against the Broncos. This is just a classic bounce back for the Mahomes and the Chiefs. Pulled up this stat. Mahomes in his career, right after a loss, he's 14-3 straight up, right after a loss in those games. And when he's favored by less than 3 points or an underdog, he is 14-4-1 against the spread, 78% hit rate on that. So, instantly I was thinking about the Chiefs just from the overall, storylines for both this year. But those kind of stats really pushed me to the Chiefs side of things. What about you?
Yeah, didn't the stat, somebody was posting a stat that the Dolphins haven't beaten a 500 or better team since week 3 of the 2022 season.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So, of course, Patrick Mahomes after a loss, the dude's money in the bank, right? Why wouldn't you? Dolphins can't beat good teams. We've seen them lose 2 this year already, and now they haven't beaten a team. So, again, this is a game where I really want to see, like, I just want to watch the game and enjoy it, because you're talking about the Dolphins offense is fantastic. And yes, Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, who is very familiar with the personnel in Miami. I think that's going to be a very interesting thing to see. Can they shut down that Miami, offense? You cite the who is it? The Eagles, and who did they lose to?
The Bills and Eagles.
The Bills. So, well, they lost to the Bills early on in the season, right? So, I mean, that was before the Bills ended up with like all those defensive injuries that they started dealing with. They lost Tre'Davious White. They've lost a bunch there. So they have the 2 games that they have lost to really strong defenses.
Yeah.
So, I again, like, this is the game that I really just want to watch and love. I don't want to bet it at all. I might just lean on the over, just for the fun aspect of it, and just, hope for like this just monumental scoring. That's kind of where I'm going to lean right now. I'll lean on the over and just kind of enjoy that game. I mean, it's going to be miserable for me. 6:30 in the morning, right?
I was going to say, to
with
watch
my sauerkraut
it, you got
and my schnitzel, right? No, it's not going to be fun.
you're going to crack open a beer at 6:30, start the beer fest going.
Oh, yeah. What could possibly go wrong there?
Take a nap before the 1 o'clock games. Why not?
I think Fantasy Alarm FA Nation would be a little upset with me if I just snoozed it during there and just didn't bother with any example lineups or updates or anything like that.
By the way, another stat I found, and credit to the Action Network guys that do an awesome job with all their coverage over there. But saw a stat that someone pointed out was international favorites. This game in Germany, international favorites not featuring the Jaguars in any of those games. 22-9 against the spread over the years. 71% hit rate on that one. So another stat that just kind of point me to the Chiefs, I guess. But of course, we're going to have a Dolphins double-digit win incoming, I bet. All right, another game, another really good game for on Sunday's slate is Bills-Bengals. This is a 2.5-point spread for Cincinnati at home. 48.5 is the over-under. Another game where, I guess your opinion with the Dolphins-Chiefs is kind of mine with this. I did not know where to go with this because I could see either team winning. The vibes around the Bills are lower, this season and recent games. Their defense has not looked great at times. I know they just traded for Rasul Douglas to replace Tre'Davious White now, but we'll see, what that impact is for this game at least. And the Bengals they're back, I guess, because they've been now rolling through and looked really good after, Burrow, I guess, over his calf injury, and that impressive win on the road at San Francisco last week. So honestly, I could see either team winning this game. It's tough to pick against the spread. I mean, maybe I go over. That's my early lean. What about you?
I'm actually leaning the Bengals in this one here. Yeah, I don't buy the Bills. There's just so much about the Bills that I haven't enjoyed with them. And, Rasul Douglas, I mean, he'll probably be on the field this week to do it. It's going to be like, remember the Titans when they put Petey in, right? And Coach Yost was like, I don't care what you do, just cover 17, right? That's what they're going to do to Rasul Douglas. They're going to be like, I don't care what you do, just cover number 1, right? And they're going to have him probably like shadow Jamar Chase the entire time and try and shut him down. The only problem is that like he might wake up in the morning and realize that he's only Rasul Douglas, and Jamar Chase will, kind of carve him up, slice and dice him here. So yeah, I'm going to favor the home team in this one, and I'm just going to favor the Bengals. I would love the over to hit as well. I'd like to see it be a nice high scoring game, but I it's kind of funny. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a great game against the Bills run defense, which is surprisingly softer than it should be.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see, because you can usually, you can run on the Bengals, but I mean, are they going to give the ball to James Cook? Are they gonna? They just picked up at the trade deadline? Who's they just signed Leonard Fournette to their practice squad. Are they gonna activate Fournette for this game?
Oh yeah, he's scoring a touchdown this week.
What is Leonard Fournette's anytime touchdown prop? I'm sure it's not up yet, but I mean, I'm gonna have to take a look and see. I'm gonna go to BetMGM while you pivot to another game.
Well, real quick on that, just wrapping up that game is not from a betting standpoint, but it's going to be awesome. Just kind of the pregame and just the vibes around the fact that this is DeMar Hamlin, back playing against the Bengals, the team that he got hurt against last year, in the same stadium as well. So that whole vibe of it is pretty cool to see, even if you're not a sports fan. I just think that's, honestly, we thought he might not be with us at this point because of what happened. So it's pretty cool to see him. We'll see. He hasn't really been active, so I doubt he might be active for the game to play in it. But it'll be just cool vibes there. And any update on this anytime touchdown for Fournette?
I'm looking for it right now. I'm still not seeing. Here we go. Team touchdowns, but I don't see.
They might not have posted it yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's up yet here.
It's probably gonna be very long odds though. So
right, for Leonard Fournette. I mean, I'm sure it's probably
he might not even be active. That's the other part of it. If you probably want to make sure he's active before even betting on it. But if we get word Sunday, before kickoff that he is active, then who knows?
Yeah, then I want to see. Then I want to see what the anytime touchdown prop is. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't look like they have it. I mean, it's the Sunday night game, so nobody's nobody's really looking at it, from that granular of a standpoint yet. What a shame.
All right, another game, another really good game this weekend. Cowboys Eagles. Eagles only favored by 3 here. 46.5. 46 is the over under on BetMGM. You mentioned this is another game, just not sure where to go. Two good defenses in this matchup, and but the 46 over under is interesting because you said the rush defenses for both teams are their strengths. I feel like we could see a lot of passing and just both offenses now having to go to the air a lot more. I feel like it could be one of those higher scoring games on Sunday and go over that total. That's my early lean. Obviously, as an Eagles fan, I'll take the Eagles money line, but the 3-point spread, I could see it being a close one throughout because I just watched the Eagles trail against Washington last week and almost they could have lost that game outright. So, not sure where to go with the spread, but probably lean to the over.
Isn't this the perfect game for the Dallas Cowboys to take a dump on themselves and just get blown out by the Eagles? I mean,
well, the Cowboys are another team like the Dolphins where they haven't really beaten good teams this year.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule here, and they just beat the Rams. They just beat the Chargers. I mean, they smoked the Rams. I mean, come on, 43 points that they put up. I think this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to just, fish hook all those Cowboys fans. You know what? Hey, maybe use the alt line and just go Philly -2.5. Huh? Maybe that's the way to go because this is one of those things where, Dak Prescott just pees his pants.
Yeah, the alt lines are definitely a good strategy in my opinion. I know we just talk the posted lines here, but going to the 2.5 I think is a good call. Last week, I wish I threw out the Eagles alt line -6.5 because they won by 7 and it was a push. But a lot of times you want to get maybe under that key number of 3 points or 10 points, whatever it is. But I can see the Cowboys maybe coming out a little flat after last week. I mean, they played a Rams team that Stafford broke his thumb basically, and they could not keep pace with the Cowboys there. So.
All right. This is the clip that we want to pull for everybody just to see what kind of instant analysis we've got here on the show. So go ahead. You asked me if I like the Cowboys this week.
Howard, you like the Cowboys this week? Stinky.
Clip it.
There you go.
I am bleeding green with you. I will go out. I will find a Kelly Green shirt to wear.
There you go.
For this Sunday.
Oh, man. All right. How about Seahawks Ravens? I found this spread very interesting. 5.5 is what the spread is with the Ravens favorite at home. But as you can see on the screen there, we got a Seahawks team that's 5-2. Ravens 6-2. I mean, I feel like the spread, this one should be closer to 3 in my opinion. But maybe Vegas is telling us something here. 43 is the over under here too. I don't know. Any instant leans on this game?
I mean, I think Vegas is telling us that that Seattle, despite their 5-2 record, really is not that great of a team. Geno Smith has not looked good this season at all. He really hasn't. And so, and then I look at the fact that you've got Lamar Jackson, who, peed his pants this past week against Arizona while Gus Edwards racked up 3 touchdowns. And so now we're going back home and he's going up against a defense where Seattle does not play man coverage. Right. And so, not only, and I've got to look at what their blitzing rate is, but Lamar Jackson can easily handle, some zone coverage because Seattle runs out a lot of cover 3. Sometimes they'll do some cover 2. They like their 2 safeties high, but I don't think you need that when you're talking about, the Ravens and their passing attack. Sure, Odell Beckham can stretch the field, but you know what? Give me the underneath stuff with Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. You don't have to go for broke every time. So, if Seattle's just going to sit in that kind of zone, then I think that that Baltimore is going to be able to kind of clean up with them about that. So the lean today is Ravens -5.5. I also want to lean on the over in this one. I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be like the game that sort of pops for everybody.
Okay.
And kind of look at it in that fashion. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I want to go like, Kenneth Walker against the Ravens there, but I could see like a nice little like Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews, because the Seahawks don't cover the tight end well, like ranked like 30th in DVOA against the tight end position. And then, like I said, the zone coverage there, the underneath routes are exposed. So I do feel like this one could go over that 43 mark.
I'm with you to lean into the over there too. I was going to bring that up, and I'm glad you did because do you remember a couple weeks ago I hit the over on a Ravens? I think it was their game against the Titans. Yeah, there's that. I think it was the London game, Ravens Titans, and I went the over. It went under, but I was just looking at the Ravens this year. Their red zone issues have been a problem, and I feel like there's some positive regression coming there because they've settled for a lot of field goals. Lately, though, they've been scoring more, 38 and 31 points in these last two games against the Lions and Cardinals. So I feel like that's going to start trending up. But also, I look at the Ravens defense on paper, one of the best in the league, been dominating teams lately. But they also have not faced good quarterbacks or good offenses much. I mean, like that they shut down Goff and the Lions a couple weeks ago. But besides that, you look back at their schedule and just the quality of quarterbacks and teams that they've played has not totally been there. And I know the Seahawks, you mentioned Geno Smith has not looked great this year. But this offense is, I think, a step up from, the Cardinals that they just played last week and some other offenses that the Ravens have played. So I would lean to the over there as well, especially if they just kind of lean on, Kenneth Walker in the run game and maybe hit Metcalf, Lockett, and, Jackson Smith and Jigma's come on late too. He's looked good. So probably would lean to the over too. I agree with you. It could be one of those sneaky games where it just kind of breaks the slate and, you wish you had a part of it in DFS. You wish you had the over in betting circles. So, yeah, I agree with you there. By the way, we got a couple of just comments here on YouTube asking about some trades and some fantasy questions. We're focused on betting on this show, but we appreciate all the questions and interest. But if you do have some questions, go hit us up in the Discord chat over the Fantasy Alarm Discord to get your questions answered there. And we'll help you out there. But, betting, we're just kind of focusing on this show. All right, last game here, talking early leans for Week 9, Sunday's slate. I know you have a stronger case on this one, so I'll just set it up and let you take it. Giants-Raiders. We got the Raiders firing Josh McDaniels late last night. That silver and whacked are the Raiders. They fired their offensive coordinator. They fired their GM. This is a complete overhaul after a really a dud last week. And saw Devontae Adams like throwing his helmet down on the ground last week. Just a bad showing on Monday Night Football. And now we got the Raiders at home, 1.5-point favorites. 37 is the over-under against the Giants team that is terrible in their own right. So what's your lean on this one?
All right, here we go. So my lean is the Raiders, and I'll lay the points, and I'll happily do it. This stat came up, it popped up last year, right after, or not last year, the year before. No. It popped up last year in October when everybody was talking about which coaches were on the hot seat and everything like that. 32 teams have fired their coach during the regular season since 2003. Those teams have gone 15-17 straight up, and 17-15 against the spread. Now, while you're like, wow, 15-17 straight up and 17-15 against the spread, that doesn't mean dinky do. Here you go. A 46.9% straight up win rate. All right, which is what you're looking at right there. It might not look good, but these teams that we're talking about had a 26.8% straight up win rate prior to the coaching change. They also had only a 37.5% cover the spread rate prior to the coaching change there. So against the spread. So while, yes, you can look at 15-17 or 17-15 and be like, that's not doing anything for me. Just think of how bad these teams were prior to the coaching change. Players get up for this all the time, right? I mean, dude, Davante Adams is probably going to have like 350 receiving yards and like 17 touchdowns in this game because he's so happy about this coaching change right now. You know, we see players respond always because if they like the coach and he's gone, well, then they want to they want to, win one for him. And, they fired him, but we got your back. And if they hate the coach, they're going to be like, see how much see how great we are after you make that coaching change. So either way, it's a win-win for us. Take the Raiders, lay the points.
I love that. Love that take. And in the back of my mind, I thought about that until I, saw you put that stat in our prep here and bring it up now. And it just, I mean, these teams were bad, but getting to a 500 record or about that is an improvement. I mean, that's better than what these teams were. And you get a Raiders team that you mentioned it, that they, talking about whether they like their coach or not, I don't think they like McDaniels. You could kind of tell in that last game where Davante Adams just had enough. He's just sitting on the bench. He's not even going to go to his coach and complain. And they make a change now. Jimmy G is out. They bring in Aiden O'Connell. I think that's going to give a little boost to the offense. O'Connell just trying to prove something, try to earn that starting job moving forward this year. Antonio Pierce, now the interim coach. I also feel like he's kind of like a player's coach, former player. I think that the players are going to want to play and win for him too. So I love your call here on taking the Raiders, not worrying about the spread. The Giants too. I mean, this is as bad as the Raiders were. They're playing the Giants this week. All right. They're not playing they're not playing the Dolphins. They're not playing, the Chiefs, like where you think they could cover a big spread. This is a Raiders team that's favored at home and playing a Giants team that's also just falling apart. Darren Waller likely out with his hamstring injury too. Saquon Barkley questionable with an ankle injury. That's two big parts of the Giants offense that could be out for this game, or at least limited with Saquon. Just all signs kind of pointing to the Raiders. So I'm with you. Take Vegas. Gabe the Babe throwing in the chat here. For the Raiders cleaning house, give Adams all the targets. Please, God, I need this. Yeah, listen, last week, I know this is a betting show, but for fantasy, I lost a fantasy matchup because Davante Adams only had one catch. I need him to just have like 3 catches in that game, and he only had 1 catch. And at the end of the game, I'm like, he had a bomb that he almost caught, and I just needed like at least 1 or 2 more catches, and I would have won. But that it's just like looking at Adams. So yeah, fire up all the Davante Adams props this weekend.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you guys are, if you have Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, there may or may not be a love letter today to Davante Adams.
Love that segment.
Just saying.
Probably not a love letter to Josh McDaniels, I'm guessing.
No. I'm going to leave that for all the Patriots fans out there who are like, did you? Yeah, I was talking about this.
Patriots fans are going to bring him back.
So I was talking about this with Coop on the Alarm Fantasy Football show earlier because he's like a huge Patriots guy, and at Shooter McGavin on X tweeted out that that GIF of from Billy Madison, and it was captioned. It was Josh McDaniels upon his first meeting with Bill Belichick, and it was that segment of Billy Madison where he's like. Or Happy Gilmore, where he's like, I'm stupid, you're smart, you were right, I was wrong, right? Like, I mean, it's like this whole like welcome home to the prodigal son here for Josh McDaniels. So grotesque, but we're gonna get it.
Yeah, he's gonna be the OC for the Pats probably next year. Oh man, Chef. Thrown out in the chat here, 7 rookie quarterbacks starting this weekend. Yeah, it is not great. Will Levis tomorrow is one of them. He said 9. Sorry, forgot Stroud and Bryce. Yeah, those are the incumbent rookie quarterbacks starting. But yeah, you look at the rest of the slate here. It is tough for quarterbacks. Yeah, should be interesting. All right, let's talk some win totals. And this is like the middle part of the season. We got eight games down, 8 weeks down, and I think this is a great middle part of the year to kind of review. If you guys watched at the beginning of the season, me and Howard went through every single division, every single team, gave out our predictions over under on some of the every win total out there for every team. And I think this is a good spot to just kind of review some of these. Maybe we have different opinion. One of the ones is the Browns. They had a 9.5 win total preseason. They're sitting at 4-3. We both went under this. This is one that could go either way, but they're going to have to get 5 or 6 more wins the rest of the year, right? to hit the over. So I think I'm feeling good about it, especially with their quarterback situation. I don't know. Any change of thought on that? I mean, you're glad you took the under, I guess, right?
Do they even have a quarterback anymore? I mean,
That's tough.
I'm telling you. I mean, okay, so we need 6 wins out of them to lose this bet. They could probably beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's pull up their schedule and see.
I'm on it right now. I see Cardinals, Broncos, Rams, Bears, Texans, Jets. So if they lose, like, then the other games, Steelers, Jaguars, and the Bengals. So, and the Ravens. So that's the schedule coming up. Those are 6 winnable games, but the Browns are gonna brown, baby. They always do. They always do, right? Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Wow, a draft day reference. Did not expect that one. Yeah, I mean, listen, you went through it. They do have those winnable games, but they're gonna have to be perfect in those, and then maybe pull off an upset over Baltimore or Jacksonville. They are home against Jacksonville, so maybe they even are favored in that game. We'll see, but the 9.5 is. I felt like that was high, when we started the year, and it is proving just a little too high, I think.
And you think about it too, right? I mean, I don't know what the weather's going to be like this weekend there, but the weather could be crappy in Baltimore. The weather could be crappy in Cleveland against the Steelers. The weather could be crappy in Denver. Right? They could be, and then they've got, 3 out of 4 home games against the Jags, the Bears, and the Jets, with like the one road game in there being Houston. Those games, I mean, the weather in Cleveland, I mean, is as gross as the city of Cleveland.
Oh man, the city of Cleveland just catching a stray now.
Oh, wow. Dude, they it's direct hits, dude. It's direct hits. There's no stray here.
All right, how about the Jaguars? A team remaining on the Browns schedule. They're sitting at 6-2. 9.5 was their also win total. We both went over this, and I gotta say, when the team started out 1-2 and lost to the Texans, I did not feel great about this, but they've now reeled off 5 straight wins, and I feel like I'm feeling a lot better with this over, because they need 4 wins now the rest of the way to get the over. And I feel like they have a lot of winnable games left too. I mean, they play the 49ers next game, but home against the Titans they can win, at the Texans they can win, and then later in the year they have the Bucks and the Panthers, and then the Titans to wrap up. Like, I see 4 wins there.
I am not wavering one bet.
Okay.
I'm 100% in. I said take the over for Jacksonville. We're getting it right now, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, and they've taken advantage of this division, like winning both games against the Colts already. They lost against the Texans, but like I think they're gonna beat them in the rematch, and then I mean, still got the Titans twice. So, you could assume maybe a split there, but so feeling good about the Jaguars. Glad we both went over on that one. All right, how about the 6-2 Chiefs? 11.5 was their win total. Was one of the higher win totals of the NFL this year. They're sitting at 6-2 here. We both went over on this one. This might be tough to get 6 more wins now for the Chiefs. I think it's doable. but I think getting 6 more wins is just, it's maybe asking a lot. This is the one I'm kind of on the fence on. What about you?
Raiders twice, Packers, Patriots, Chargers, and then they got to squeak out one win because those are very winnable games.
Yeah.
Can they best? They've got a game against they got the Dolphins this weekend, and we're both in on the Chiefs there for the win.
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles, I know you're never going to pick them. I think it's a winnable game against the Bills, especially at Arrowhead. And then, we'll see what happens with them against the Bengals. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it'll be a close one. Probably comes down to the last couple of games. But, I mean, I love being on this side of things right now with 2 games against the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm with you. I trend to the sticking with the over here. But, yeah, they have a number of games that are just kind of more toss-ups, like the Dolphins, Eagles in their next 2, the Bills at home, though, as you mentioned, which is good. The Bengals, too, which is at home, I guess, is good. And then at the Chargers to wrap up, a sneaky game there. Could be, on the road. On the road in with the Chargers isn't anything, but still.
Sneaky.
All right, how about the all right, so I those are like the kind of the games the ones we both agreed on. Then I picked out a couple that we went, split on. The 2-6 Patriots. 6.5 was their win total. I went over, you went under, and I gotta say, I think taste? This is an early win for you. I'm giving it to you already. I'm conceding because this is going over. This is going under.
Never give up. Never surrender.
I just don't see them winning 5 more games to hit this over. So.
Commanders are beatable. Colts are beatable. Giants are definitely beatable. Broncos are beatable. Oh yeah, that's it. They're done. Yeah, you're cooked.
They're beatable, but also it's the Patriots with how bad they've looked.
Ooh, come on, Demario Douglas, Mac Jones. Once Josh McDaniels comes home, baby, there it is.
Okay. I didn't factor in the mid-season hiring of Josh McDaniels.
Hey Dan, ask me what I think about the Patriots' chances this year.
What do you think about the Patriots' win total this year, Howard? Oh man! All right, how about another one we were split on? Another bad team. 1-6 Panthers. 7.5 was their win total. I went under. You went over, and this one I'm taking. This is a win.
I'm dead.
For me, right?
I'm dead. I'm dead. I can't even.
I'm not even gonna look at their schedule because there's no way they're pulling out 8 wins to hit the over.
No.
Oh,
dude,
man.
how terrible are they? Listen, you can talk about all the injuries to their secondary and whatnot, but
rookie quarterback, yeah.
Dude, this team is bad news. They're really, God, Miles Sanders has just been atrocious.
Yeah. All right, how about 2 other bad teams to wrap this up? And these we both went over on their win totals this year.
What were we thinking?
The 2-6 Bears and the 2-6 Giants. 7.5 was the win total for both these teams. And again, we both went over on these.
You did?
I gotta say, I don't feel great about these right now.
What were we smoking? Were we like partying the whole time?
I think we were smoking that Justin Fields, hype. And the Giants, Daniel Jones, but he's not been in there for the Giants this year. So
just say no, kids. Just say no.
So yeah, I think we could concede both of those at this point. We'd be lucky to get the overs on those.
Chef TP. Bears won't be good until 2052. Man, I don't know if you watched Saturday Night Live, but comedian Nate Bargatze was the host. And he starts talking about like the other generation. He's like, by the time my daughter's 40, right, it's going to be 2057. He's like, I didn't even think the world was going to be here in 2057. Like, it gets so far into me. So to see Bears won't be good until 2052. That's just
not have to get Caleb Williams in the draft this year. We'll see.
Sure hope I'm dead. I'll tell you that.
All right, so that's some NFL talk. We got to give out some World Series bets for Game 5 tonight in just a sec.
Oof.
First, though, got to give out a little pick here for Servo 7 competition, the college football competition
Ooh.
over on BettorEdge this week. Listen, I might have won this BettorEdge contest last week, so you know what? I think I'm helping people out here. But you can, if you want to fade my picks, you can follow them, whatever. This is a totals competition. We got about 20 games where you just kind of pick the over under on 7 of those games. It's really easy. If you're a casual college football fan, it's real easy. But you can sign up at BettorEdge. No deposit required. It's free to enter. You get $20 back too when you sign up and verify your account on the BettorEdge app, or go over to bettoredge.com/better. Again, it's the Servo 7 competition you want to look for, the college football competition that they got going. And I'll give out one pick right now that I got. It's a Wednesday, but I still got the early lean on it. Give me the under in Clemson Notre Dame this weekend. Under 46 is the total there on the BettorEdge. It's actually down to about 45 at some sports books. I think it could go down even a little bit more. This is a classic game where I look at both teams with offenses that they're not living up to expectations this year, especially on the Clemson side of things. It's just been very underwhelming, even though they brought in TCU's coordinator Garrett Riley to kind of level things up. It just has not really worked. And they're averaging only 19 points per game in conference play against ACC opponents. Notre Dame, not a conference opponent, but still, that's just how it's gone for Clemson. And it's Cade Klubnik has kind of not been as good, as efficient as he should be, or as people expected in the preseason. A big thing to watch here, though, their stud running back, Will Shipley, their best player on the offense, is in concussion protocol and looks in danger of missing this game. He got hit hard. People thought it might be like a serious neck injury, but it was just in concussion protocol. I doubt he plays this week. And if he's out, he was a huge part of their offense, used in the passing game, used a lot in the running game, obviously. And if he's out, I think it just really hurts Clemson's offense even more. Either way, this is a tough matchup against Notre Dame that has, one of the best defenses, especially against the run this year. So I feel like Notre Dame's defense is going to limit a Clemson offense. Just been very underwhelming. And the other side of things, Clemson's defense is still like a top tier unit. That's what's kind of kept them in some games. Their offense has not really been there, but their defense is still legit. A lot of playmakers on that side of the ball. So I think they're going to show up and play in this tight matchup against Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's offense has also been kind of like Clemson, a little underwhelming against top competition. When they've played some easier teams, they can blow out teams, they can run up the score, but against their better matchups, it's been lower scoring games. And in fact, Notre Dame's 3 toughest games this year, Ohio State, Louisville, and Duke, have all gone under the total this year. They've gone over in some of their other games against easy opponents, but when they play some of the better teams this year, those games are going under. I took the under against Ohio State in that game with Notre Dame, and it cashed. I took it against Duke as well, because I just, when they play these tougher defenses, tougher teams, it's just some lower scoring, grinded out games. The other, just cherry on top, Clemson 4-1 to the under in their last 5 games. So both these teams, I think, is just going to be a defensive battle. So give me the under on the Clemson Notre Dame game here.
I like it. I'm not a Notre Dame guy. I always feel like betting Notre Dame is like betting the Dallas Cowboys in football. It's like betting the Yankees. It's like, people go to Vegas and they're walking through the casino and they go past the sports book and they're like, oh, you know what? I want to lay a little action down there. And then they look at the board and they're like, oh yeah, Notre Dame football. Yeah, I definitely want to, I want to bet the Irish. They're always great, right? It's the same thing with Dallas. There's always a tax that you pay for these teams that everybody bets on. The Yankees are the same way as well in baseball. So yeah, so it kind of makes me not like Notre Dame there. I like the under call here. Well, on
that point, I took the under in this. Wasn't going to give out a pick for the spread or anything, but I do find it very interesting that Notre Dame, 15th ranked team in the country, only 3-point favorites over a Clemson team that's 4-4 and has not looked good. Just lost last week to NC State. I find that very interesting. I can see Clemson winning this game.
And that's
Dame being overvalued.
Everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to bet the Irish. Of course they can win. They're 14th ranked team. Of course they can win this one by 3.
Maybe not.
Go Tigers.
And if it's a defensive lower scoring battle, as I said, it's just kind of one of those, a field goal either way could win it. So, yeah. Skinny McKinney on the YouTube chat here. I guess he's a Tigers fan because he said, "Go Tigers! Need to win bad."
Go Tigers!
You guys do need to win bad. They're reeling right now, so we'll see if they get that this weekend. All right, so that's some college football talk. Let's talk some World Series. We got World Series Game 5 tonight. The Rangers, your Rangers, Howard, they're up 3-1 in this series now after winning last night. Should be a fun Game 5 here to see if the Diamondbacks can survive another day or if the Rangers just close it out and clinch that title. The spread and the money line pretty much even. Maybe Texas favored a little bit more. Where are you going? Any picks for this game?
Well, Servo, I've got a bet on the Rangers winning this in 6 at plus 390. So
you got to take the D-backs.
Give me the D-backs on the money line, baby. Ooh. Okay. D-backs win this one in Arizona. They go back to Texas where the Rangers get to win it in 6. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So I saw the line there at minus 105 posted there for the Diamondbacks money line. I actually got it when I betted it at minus 110 today over at BetMGM. So either way, I mean, I don't care if it's minus 105 or it's minus 110, as long as the D-backs win, because I'm eyeballing the plus 390 for them to win it in 6. And then I'll throw a little prop our way here to lend support to my cause. Lefty Corbin Carroll over 1.5 total bases. I'm going to take some plus money on that at plus 115 at BetMGM. Carroll has dominated against right-handed pitching all season long. Just rock solid. He's been great through the playoffs, not like banana cakes, over the top here, but rock solid play here from Corbin Carroll at the plate. I love it. Rookie of the year. He saves his team from elimination here, and let the Texas Rangers put up 27 runs in the first 2 innings of Game 6.
Listen, I'm with you on the Diamondbacks. I do think they can win here. I was really impressed. So last night, Rangers got out to a 10-0 lead in like the 3rd inning. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. The Diamondbacks fought back. It was only an 11-7 final score. They scored a lot of late runs. I feel like that's some momentum coming into tonight for Arizona. So,
dude, as soon as Jose Leclerc was like, "Oh no, I'm ready to go. I'm good. I'm good." I was like, "Oh no, don't be good. Stay out."
Yeah.
Put quite a scare in there, huh?
Yeah, those late innings, it was like, oh wait, are the Diamondbacks going to make this a game? But
what did it finish 11-7? They totally made it interesting.
They made it a game, yeah. All right, I'm going with. Listen, I've been having a lot of success with these pitcher props, these outs props in this whole postseason, honestly. So I'm going back to it with both starting pitchers tonight. Give me the over on Nathan Eovaldi's outs. 15.5 is the line there. Minus 115 on BetMGM. I think with the Rangers up 3-1 in the series, they can afford to let Eovaldi go a little deeper. They probably want to save if they do lose tonight. Even if Eovaldi gives up a few runs, they're not going to panic and pull him early because they don't need to. I think they want to save a lot of their bullpen arms if it goes to a Game 6. And just let Eovaldi cook here. And he's been really good. I mean, this postseason, he's looking like the Eovaldi postseason guy that we know, that we come to know with the Red Sox in recent World Series that he's been in. But I really like him to have a strong start here either way. I think he goes over this outs prop into the 6th inning is what we need here to hit the over. So I'm going with that one. And then on the other side of things, give me the under on Zach Gallen's outs prop, which is also at 15.5. on the flip side with the Diamondbacks, this is win or go home. They can't afford, Gallen, if he gets into any early trouble, to let him go much deeper or let up, 4 or 5 runs early. They need to get him out if he runs into any trouble. And I think his innings are going to be limited. I don't see him going past the 5th inning here tonight. So even though it's juiced -150 at BetMGM, I think this is cashing because the Diamondbacks, like if he 2nd, 3rd inning, if he's got the bases loaded with like 1 out or no outs, I think it could be a very early exit for him tonight because the Diamondbacks just cannot afford to get in a big hole like they did last night. So, yeah, give me the under on Zach Gallen's outs prop, who, by the way, Gallen has not looked as dominant as he was in the regular season. He's kind of like he struggled in the postseason. Teams have gotten to him, including the Rangers already. So, give me the under on his outs.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, man. I'm definitely cool with that. And like you said, I mean, the Rangers would much rather spare their bullpen, right? If they're going back and they're up 3-2 and they only have to win one of those games, I think they'd rather have their bullpen well rested and able to go in case one of their starters just craps the bed. So I like that call on Eovaldi. And then Gallen, I mean, yeah, there've been a lot of great pitchers who have been disappointments in this one.
Yeah. Well, especially on the Rangers side of things, Max Scherzer, he got hit in the back and he's out off the roster now for the Rangers. So he's not available. Whether it wouldn't be the game 6, but a possible game 7. So they need to save as many of their bullpen's arms as possible. So yeah. All right. So those are some picks for World Series game 5. If you want some bets for NBA or NHL, we got articles over at fantasyalarm.com. So definitely check those out for tonight. Get the All-Pro subscription, as you see on the screen. If you haven't already, scan that QR code. You can go and get all the DFS content, all the fantasy football content, the access in the Discord, as we mentioned earlier, asking your fantasy questions there, all that good stuff at fantasyalarm.com. So yeah. All right, Howard. Well, this is my last show of the week, but I know you'll be back on Friday to give out some surefire bets for week 9, and I'm excited.
Or
to see
just some bets.
Just some bets. Just some bets. Maybe just.
I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. Come on.
Coming up after us, as we've been doing, is the NBA DFS show with Mpemba and Grande. So stay tuned for that, 5 p.m. Eastern. To get your NBA DFS lineups in. And then Howard, coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern, you are on with Lisa Ann. Lisa Ann does Fantasy Better here on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTubes. So definitely stay tuned all night for all this fantasy and DFS and betting talk on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. All right, everyone. Appreciate you joining in here on a Wednesday. The show will be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you guys later.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports